And bro, did you bring the whole empanada supply in here? Time to hose them down.
No, but I had to bring some that I said I would get for somebody. Mm-hmm. And so I just brought them and put them on the side.
Oh, safe supply. Because you can't leave it out there.
I'm going to tell you. If you put the cheesy gaucho on your food, Leroy will eat it.
If you put any free food in a radio station.
Oh my goodness! People I don't even know.
Do you know that? You remember the scene, Robbie, from Jurassic Park when they lowered the goat down? They lowered the goat into the dinosaur pen. That's when you leave free food in a radio station. That's what it comes out. Just mangled. There'll just be like a little piece of like empanada box around.
And the worst thing is that there's people on diets. There's people that are all kinds of stuff. If you see an email that says, hey, there's free whatever. All of a sudden they start circling like buzzards.
They'll be like, Bluebell ice cream is in the fridge, and it's like 10 a.m., and it doesn't matter. People are like, great, ice cream party Sunday, here we come, right here in the middle of the morning.
Yep.
Let's do it. I mean, Bluebell ice cream is delicious, so it makes sense. But I'm just saying.
I don't do that.
That's why you're not an ice cream guy, though.
That's why I always wait to break the seal.
I understand.
Let the animals have at it first, and then I just come in and take
I know, but if you let the animals have at it first, you're left with crumbs. Yeah. You got to get in there. You got to make some kind of move towards the supply here. Anyway, speaking of guys who aren't exactly picking up the crumbs, they're really starting to feast. That is one Bam Adebayo, as his performance against Washington was awesome. And took over in the fourth quarter with Jimmy Butler hurt, with Goran in foul trouble. We saw the Heat big man really, really get into his own. And I thought this was interesting yesterday, Leroy. Erik Spoelstra was asked about Bam, and he put him under a category I haven't heard him put him under yet. And I thought it was pretty cool. Here's the Heat head coach.
This is what great players do when it's their time to win. And he's singularly focused on helping this team win. And because of all the time that he puts in on his game, how he's taken on new responsibilities every month, his game is growing exponentially. But the bottom line is it's all growing in a way to help this team win. And that includes leadership. He's only 23 years old, 22? But he has now the veteran responsibility of a leader of the locker room, just like Jimmy and Goran have, and he's really responded to that. The other night we had Jimmy out, we had Goran in foul trouble, Jay was out, and it just showed you that what Bam is capable of in those deciding moments as well when we need him to be really assertive. All that only helps us, when we have our full complement of guys.
I thought that was a big step because I remember Bam saying earlier in the year that Spo doesn't give him many compliments. Like, he's not that guy.
He's young.
Gives him that shine.
That happens a lot.
But for Spo to, I think, put the great label on him, I thought that was something.
And he didn't see. I look at that differently. He didn't necessarily call him great. But what he said was, he has shown moments when great players have been great. Now, when he does that consistently, right, then Spo take that next step. Mm-hmm. But I was so impressed, one, how he took so many different guys in so many different positions off the dribble. Mm-hmm. That was amazing. That quick step, that first quick step was amazing to me. And how relatively calm he looked. Like he was just making plays. He was just playing basketball, just doing that. And when you think of a lot of guys who excel at their sport or whatever, one of the things I say about the difference between Tiger and Phil and everybody else is a 5-foot putt is just a 5-foot putt. It doesn't mean anything. You practice, you prepare, you do everything. So where the act is just the act. The circumstances don't make it any more or any less than what it is. When you watch Bam play, the moment isn't too big for what he's trying to do. He's out there playing basketball, making basketball plays, taking situations and winning those situations. And that's at a young age, That's the thing that has me just blown away.
Here's Bam at practice yesterday. He was discussing what his teammates were telling him during the fourth quarter.
Spo told me to keep going, and my teammates was like, "Yo, don't pass us the ball. Like, just don't pass us the ball." And at that point, you start to realize like you're in a mode, and I was making plays and trying to get us a W.
It's pretty crazy. Like they're all just trying to will him to be like, "Hey, man, look, it's time. It's time to unveil these superpowers."
Well, here's the problem: when you spend the first year and a half with the dribble handoff, right,
and having to sit behind us on,
you don't actually realize that your team has the confidence in you to do the things that you're doing.
And it's not only that, but think about this: even before that, his role in college. Because
college doesn't count because you know why? Well, it's different now. But when you look at guys like Jordan and you look at a lot of these guys that went to college, their roles and how great they ended up being in the NBA was so different because you had a bunch of guys that were great in college. So a lot of guys don't bloom until they get
understood. But he was still the guy out of those great guys on his team who was asked to do all the hard stuff. And none of the glory stuff.
Right.
So
and guess what? That's why the Heat love him.
Yeah, it's true.
For all those other things.
It's so good. I can't wait to watch. Like, is he getting to the point though? Like, I wonder with Heat fans, because I remember us doing this poll early in the year where we're like, you know, what jersey would you get? Which guy are you most excited about? And it was I think Tyler Hero was the guy who was kind of the runaway. He's the popular watch, but
he's not playing now.
I know he's not playing now, but I wonder if it's getting to the point now where Bam is starting to turn into like must-watch TV for the South Florida sports fan because I feel like he should be.
Yes, but if Tyler Hero gets back in there and starts making threes like Duncan Robinson, with how it'll be the same. Like look, what Bam does, and this is the hardest thing because we have this conversation about Jimmy Butler, right? What they do for this team is not always measured in points and rebounds. And we're so stat-oriented that, you know, we see Dunks making the threes. We see Tyler Hero making the threes. We see all these guys shooting and scoring, that the things that they are good at and the things that they do to make a difference in the game don't necessarily have a stat where you can measure it. And so, yeah, if Tyler comes back and he starts making threes and, you know, going off.
Even with Tyler coming in, maybe Tyler's still going to get the biggest spot. I do feel like if you don't realize if you're a South Florida sports fan right now and you don't realize, remember you're always saying you got to enjoy things while they're happening.
Right.
I think you need to start enjoying. Holy crap! Like you got one here in South Florida, and I think you're starting to get it in increments. But I really feel like I think you should just enjoy watching this guy play basketball because for one, I feel like he unveils a new thing every single night, is doing something with a little bit more confidence, a little bit more flair. He's just a fun watch, whether it be on offense or on defense. Right. You know, he's just that kind of captivating. Just the most lovable personality.
I think what makes him that much more enjoyable to watch is his humbleness, right? Like he's very humble, nice, fun, happy dude, and that's fun to be around. Like, look, we all love Jimmy Butler. He's a curmudgeon at times, right? Yes. Like he would be the difference between Zoe and Shaq,
right?
And so from that standpoint, you know, a lot of people like Shaq because of his fun-loving, you know, personality. I think
Bam said at the D-Wade weekend where he said, I brought the kid out in Dwayne.
Right.
You know?
Right.
It's crazy. 22, though. Like, even suppose, like, 23? 22. Holy crap.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Anyway, we're back with more after this.